Would the council members all turn their microphones on, please?
Turn your mics on.
Should be
Turn
in
your mic on,
the
Joel.
forward position.
It's not 6 o'clock yet. That's good though. Well, okay, before we call the council to order tonight, we have one oath that we want to administer, and that's Reed Petty. Reed, would you come up here, please? We'll stand under this. And by the way, this seal is new to Harrison, Arkansas. Just when we moved in here, we didn't have a seal and we created it. You'll see it's very similar to the state, but we have the mountains and some other things that are a little different. So, Reed, raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Reed Petty,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Arkansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Arkansas,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of
Harrison Ward 3, Position 2,
Harrison Ward 3, Position 2,
upon which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Makes five.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's gonna be a little different tonight. This is our first time with a different format. But roll call, James.
Josh Earl, Gwen Hoffman,
Present.
Mitch Magnus,
Present.
Larry Phillips,
Present.
Charlie Pierce,
Present.
Reed Petty,
Present.
Joel Williams,
Present.
Wayne Cohn.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Wayne, would you pray for us, please?
I will do. Will you please stand if you can? Let us pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you again, thanking you for this day that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to serve the citizens of Harrison. Lord, we just ask that you be with the city council, that we make the right decisions for the citizens of Harrison. We ask that you be with the employees of the city as we go into this new year. Lord, just give them the will to do the best they can for the people of the city of Harrison. Go with us, guide and direct in this decisions made tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, we have with us tonight Logan Preble, and he is completing a Eagle Scout requirement. If you would come right up here and lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Logan. Be seated, please. Okay, we need approval of the minutes from December 19th.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I
sir.
do want to point out one thing. It's been pointed out to me that there's a mistake in the 19 minutes that that the mayor's salary would be increased from 80,000 to 90%.
The
It should
90%.
be 90,000. 90,000. I will make that correction. I just wanted to get that pointed out on the record.
And the correction is
To 90,000.
90.
Yes, dollars.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up another salary. Thank you.
It's the mayor's salary, not necessarily yours.
And that's true. But I happen to be here right now. So we're going to, look for approval with the change that James made. Need a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, approval of the January 13th, 25 minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
Point of order,
Yes.
I have one change that I want to point out. During our discussion, I had mentioned that I don't mind being on internal affairs. But I was only on after that night, finance as the chair, resources and policy, and public safety. And I'm down on that in the minutes under internal affairs. I don't mind being on that, but that would be 4 committees.
Okay,
I don't mind being on there. When would you rather me stay on, or
Whatever you feel like you want to do.
I'm perfectly, I'd be pleased to stay on there, but I just want to correct that.
how about motions?
So move.
Second. This is to keep you on.
To keep it on there and approve the minutes as presented.
Right.
Motion, second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, man, thanks for pointing that out, and you too. Okay, department reports. Chief Cable.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I believe you have a report on your tablet. Does anybody need a hard copy? Like a hard copy? Nope. All right. Yeah, if y'all have any questions over those, I'll be glad to answer them tonight, or you can give me a call tomorrow. I'll be glad to answer anything you have. I just want to report that we've had 4 openings for a while in the department. We finally filled 2, so we only have 2 left to go. So we're actively searching for a couple more patrol officers, so if anybody knows of anyone that would be interested, we would be glad to talk with them. So, I also want to just, I know it's on a little birdie, so it's probably gotta be true. So I'm just gonna put it out here, that is a pain, man, thank the fire department, but I'm gonna have to give Mark a heads up. Chief Lowry's Code Enforcement Division, we received a tip from them about a month and a half ago. After their inspection at the Joyful Day Massage Parlor here in Pearson, that some things just weren't right. So, I just really want to thank our Detective Division, Patrol Division, and the 14th Judicial Task Force. After we received this information on this case, we opened up an investigation and have been carrying that on for about a month and a half. After receiving the tip, it was determined, along with massages, other activities were taking place inside the business. So, it was also learned during the investigation that females working inside the business were actually victims of human sexual trafficking here in our city. So with the assistance of Prosecutor David Etheridge in his office, we were able, after the investigation, we gathered enough info that we were able to get a search warrant. We served that this morning. The business is now officially shut down in the city and no longer operates in our community. We were also able to take the female that was the victim and was forced to work there. We were able to take her. We're currently interviewing her. Our investigation is still continuing, and there should be a press release probably tomorrow sometime from the Arkansas Attorney General's office. So that's really all I'm allowed to say at this time, since we're still looking into this, but just a great job by our guys and other agencies to take care of this within the city.
Absolutely. And unfortunate that we always hear about this in other places.
Yeah.
So it's never going to happen here, but it's eventually everything will happen here. Just, we're no different than any place else.
That's right. But luckily, I mean, we've got the information and we're able to do something about it pretty good. And
I think the good thing is it hasn't been going on that long.
No,
You guys got on that.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
that's
anyway,
one good thing.
all right. Other than that, that's all I got. I just want to keep it short unless anyone has any questions for us. Chief Grady, he's out in the middle of the Gulf of America now, I think, somewhere floating around, so. Any questions? All right, thank you. All right, sir, thank you. Okay. Mark, can you top that?
Well, no, again, that's a good sign of agencies working together, people being alert and then knowing the right direction to go. So I'm very proud of everybody involved with that. In front of you is the monthly report from the fire department for December. Again, I'm not gonna go through it. I'll let you look at it and kind of read through it. Also, I included a year-end summary of what we done last year for call volume, and it breaks it down into 2 other calls. Again, another record year for the department, more calls we've ever had, especially on the medical side. You'll see there's a lot of emergency medical and rescue calls. So, with that, I'll keep it short and sweet as well. If anybody's got any questions or comments, I'll certainly entertain any questions. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, Luke is not with us tonight, so we'll go on to Chuck.
Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, I did,
Going backwards, away.
well, if you don't mind, I'd like to make a comment in regard to Luke. And since there's not anything coming out of finance tonight, he and I had our regular meeting. And he did point out once again that sales tax is up again year over year. And while it's roughly about 2% up from last year, 2.4 or whatever it was. Obviously, since it was up so much last year in comparison to that previous year, we're not going to see these 7 and 8 and 10% increases year over year probably this year. But still good news, 3%. So yeah, it was excellent news, but we're probably not going to see those 10 and 15% year over year. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that means inflation is coming down.
Right. So anyway, that's the only thing that he and I discussed that we might want to point out.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let's go back to Lady. Lady.
I just want to touch on a few items. We did not have a planning commission this month. Normally I would kind of report what happened there. Do look like we're probably having one in February, hopefully, so, which is not unusual during the winter. Things are a little bit slow for the planning commission. Last week, we did have a meeting with the firm that's been doing all of our wastewater monitoring, flow testing and stuff like that. And we pretty well got our final draft of a 20-year master plan for the sewer system, going forward, looking at where our deficiencies are now. But more importantly, we're planning for growth and getting our capacities up, in the existing areas and taking a look at where we do expect our growth in the future, and really looking at that more, that 20 to 30 year timeline. Wasn't quite as bad as I had feared as far as the total amount of capital improvement projects that we'd be looking at. And I'll do a little more formal presentation once I finish reviewing the full report. And then we make because we may make a few changes on how we attack a few of these problems. But right now that 20-year master plan capital improvements is looking at, it's about a $10 million total, which is probably half of what I had expected going into this. So kudos to the people that were in my position and running the sewer department and the planning for the last 30, 40 years. They helped put us in a good position, and so hopefully we can keep that going forward. Of course, those are in $20-25, and every year they go up quite a bit. But so that was pretty good news. We do have our water master plan that was developed several years ago. It's still relatively current, but it's probably something we'll be taking a look at in the next 5 years to do a full update on it. And the reason I mentioned that, as well as kind of a quick update on the sewer master plan, is that in 2021, the state legislature passed a bill. So water provider oversight bill is kind of the common name. And so part of that requirement is that cities are going to have to start changing the way they do rates. And that they're going to have to do, formal rate studies that meet the requirements of this bill. Some ways, it's a little frustrating at a local level, the state's dictating how we do it. In other ways, it's good for, forcing utilities to look at it from, and I don't want to say this in the council, but from a pure business standpoint. Because at the end of the day, that unfortunately is what a utility is. I know we want to do all we can to keep rates down, but we have until July of next year to complete our rate study. Now, those will take several months. A lot of what goes into it will be these capital improvement plans and how we're going to fund those over the next several years. And I'm going to bring it up probably a few more times before I come and ask for approval to bring a firm in to get that rate study started. Because every city or utility that's done this and has followed the way the new law requires us to do it, significant, and I mean significant rate increases. 50% is not at all.
Well, to point out is that Luke, yourself and I have all talked about one of the things that I was worried about even 6 or 8 years ago was that we weren't increasing our rates fast enough to keep up with what we're going to see in the future. And even with the issues that we had and that we've now for the most part resolved, there's still going to be some increases that we're going to have to probably sustain in the future.
There are, unfortunately, those routine costs that utilities and the capital improvement costs, all of that stuff. Inflation's easing, but it's not easing in that sector as much as others. So I'm just trying to get the word out. I mean, there's utilities in Northwest Arkansas that are looking at 100% increases over the next few years. I mean, your bill is $70 in a few years, it'll be $140. So that's the reality of what the utility sector is facing, especially water and sewer within the state as we start implementing these new, rate studies the way they want it done. So I'll kind of keep everybody informed of that, and probably, Luke and I have talked quite a bit. We're probably looking at getting this started about middle of this year. That way going into next year, because once you do your rate study, you have to implement those rates within 1 year. Unless the rate increase is over 50%, and then you got 2 years to implement it. So it's going to happen quick once we do. We want to be done well ahead of the legal deadline that we have to meet. We also want to take our time and help try and prepare you as a council to have to deal with it as well as the community. Also, just a quick thing for the new council members. Another requirement in that law is what they call water board training. To where I have to have a majority of the council has to go through a certain training. I will get information out to you guys. They now have it set up, I think, to where you can do it online, and I think some options to do it at your own pace. I know some of our council members now, they did it in 1 day in a sit-down course. It's an 8-hour training, is what's required. So it's good training, it's good information. So I'm glad that they're doing that. It's just one of those things that it can be hard for council members with jobs to try and get everything squeezed in. So they are getting out some better options, and I'll get that info out to you hopefully within the next few weeks. Quick update on Goblin Drive, phase 2. Energy, got an email from Entergy last week that they are making a few minor changes in their plan, which is it's not a real setback or anything. The good news is that when they do that, they will take a look at the prices, and their material costs have gone up. So we may actually be getting a little bit of a refund back from them as far as the costs on the locations. And as far as right-of-way acquisition goes, I've got all but 3 property owners have accepted offers and agreed. So we're getting pretty close. I think if I get 1 or 2 more of those within the next couple of weeks, we'll go ahead and get the formal bid scheduled, and so we can have that moving forward.
As a matter of information, I never have heard back from the Public Service Commission. I've called them three times since the meeting that I caused the row.
That sounds on par. Camp Jack remodel is going along right. Nothing really to report there. They're making a bit of progress. Every week I've got our next OAC meeting will be next week to where we sit down with Camp Jack reps, the contractor, and kind of go through everything, but that's moving along. Excited to see that get done. I want to talk a little bit about snow removal, since we've got for a handful of new council members. We had the 7-8 inches, a couple of weeks ago. Overall, I was pretty pleased with the response from my crews out there getting it done. I do want to kind of discuss, we do have priorities on how we approach that. And I just want to make sure you're all aware of that. Primary roads and roads that access medical facilities, emergency response, things like that will always be the first things we hit, and those will be the ones that we work the most. And then we'll start branching out into residential areas. I know it's frustrating for people who are wanting to get out, and we know we might hit their neighborhood, but our priority will always be those primary roads, emergency routes, and before we move into those residential areas. The other complaint that we get every time, and there's not a great solution for it, is when we do plow snow, we are going to make rows on either side of the road. Means it will pile up in front of people's driveways, even if they've already cleared their own driveway. We don't have a good option for that. That's one of those things, though. There's a lot of people that are out doing it. I know a couple of baseball teams were out helping people with driveways. Just as a fundraiser for them. There's a lot of options, but that's not one of those things. I can't send crews back to clear driveways. There's a lot of people get upset about it, but unfortunately, that's just not something we can help with. Other than that, I've taken enough time, unless you have any questions. If you have.
All right, great, thank you.
Hey. Looks like that's it there. Listen. Okay, we don't have anything with Shonda. James, nothing with Shonda. Okay, Chuck. And you.
Thanks, David, let me go for you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I did that.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I thought David might have asked you. The sheet I gave you in front of you tonight is our updated, school 2025 list. We're pretty excited on all the complexes. Me and Matt went to Little Rock last Thursday to bid on the, postseason high school events, and we did really well again this year. We'll be hosting a 1A state baseball softball tournament, a 2A baseball softball regional, and a 3A state basketball tournament, partnering with Moore Park and Valley Springs School. So as we bid those through the local schools, so we did, like I said, we got another state tournament, so we're very excited about that in the regional. But that basketball tournament is a major thing that time of year for us to hit early March. That really helps us that time of year. So we're gonna do a economic impact, man, that article, I'll try to bring that in February off our projected advance of what we'll do. So we'll get that done, but it's a great partnership with the school. I just want to brag on him because we couldn't do a lot of that stuff without the schools helping us bid on those. So I really want to give a shout out to those schools that helped us. The 2A is going through Western Grove, and the 1A we did through Jasper. So you know, the schools are partnered with us this year. So if you want to look through that, if you have any questions on that, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But Creekside update, this is pretty amazing, I think. But Tuesday morning at our staff meeting, we had 2,825 members. And when I checked it at 5 o'clock before I left to come here, we're already at 2,932 members. So that's how much we've grown in 2 days, over 100 members. So if you kind of look at that, we hope to keep growing at that. And of course, our goal is, again, like I said, 5,000 by the end of 2025. But a couple of projects we're doing right now. We're getting bids right now, working on adding 4 new outdoor pickleball courts outside the tennis courts. We're partnered with Rotary on that. We're hoping that'll be done sometime this summer. We're remodeling the bathrooms at the old junior high field house so we have public restrooms that are open. So we're doing that as well. And then, like I said, we're ramping up for all these tournaments and things. Our basketball league is going on right now at Creekside. So we have 40 or 50 teams playing down there, and the parking lot's full. So if you want to get out and come watch some basketball and how it's working at Creekside this weekend, would be a great time to do it. And we also, just redid the floors of the youth center. A lot of people are asking me if we're shutting the youth center down now that Creekside's opening. We're not at all. We just redid the floor. We painted everything. We're actually remodeling the bathrooms over at the pool a little bit later on this year. So we're utilizing every facility we have, and we're doing the best we can. So I just wanted to say that, because we did have it shut down. Everybody's like, well, you closing it? No, we were actually remodeling it again, doing the floor and things like that.
There'll
So
always be a need for it in this
there'll
community.
always be, you can't have enough basketball
You
courts.
can't, it's right.
So we're excited to have the youth center still.
Chuck, I would tell you and the council, I was down there, at Creekside one Sunday evening as my family was swimming and using some of the other facilities. And I was unable to do anything. I just had to sit, for a reason. So I sat there and walked to every part of the facility and counted how many individuals were in there. The minimum number of people on Sunday night from 6 o'clock till it closed, never dropped below 86. The pool had 40 in it the majority of the time. And the total facility at one time got up to about 110 people on a Sunday night. And I tell individuals this all the time. If you think you can't afford it, you're wrong. Cost me roughly about $1.65 a day. And one of my family uses it almost every day. And it's well worth the money for the public. So
We implemented the day pass, and that's really helped us get people into the facility too, so that's how our memberships are going, so it's been a great asset to it.
well, I would say a Sunday night with 100 people in the building's pretty good.
So, any other questions from parks?
February is bring a friend on Friday night.
That was actually Donna's idea, we're bringing a friend every Friday in February, so someone can come with you for free. So we're trying to get more people in the door, so if you have somebody that's kind of on the bubble about whether to come or not, just bring them on Fridays in February and get them in there and let them use our facility, and we love to have them.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Chuck, thank you. And last but not least, David Wilson. By the way, council, I want to say something about David. Actually, Jeff Nelson's here, our new CEO and president of the chamber. Last year, when we got the notice that Wilson was leaving, we decided that left a void in your department. And even when Mike come on, he was temporary. He knew that. David and I decided to go after some businesses. And David is so excited about this. I mean, you ought to hire him. I know you need a number 2, but you better not hire him because David, it's just on Sunday night, I'll get texts about new possibilities. David figures out how to contact the decision makers. And then we go about it. And I don't want to share with you all the names that have been here, because we've contacted them, but I could not have contacted them. I've looked forever. I can't get the right people. He knows how to get the right people. So he's kind of wearing 2 hats now.
It's
And
fun. It's a good diversion from the
Yeah.
IT world.
Yeah.
But really, I want to say something to add to that, though. If David Wilson sends a text or email to one of these companies, though, never works, So I go to Jerry, sends it from mayor@harrisonar.gov. Bam, you get a response then. So it's good teamwork. I really think it
And
is.
I know we'll be working with Jeff a lot on that, but over the last 6 months, David, I mean, it was a good thing because we learned how to do something I didn't know how to do. I'm not sure Wilson could have figured it out, but he had different things to do. David's got it. We got last night, I want to tell you, hey, let me go ahead and share this.
Yeah.
Last night, over the weekend, I get a call from somebody on the square. And they said, what if we had somebody from HGTV come to Harrison and do something? And I know we've all seen that and we've liked it and we thought of it and never did anything. And I said, I'm going to call David. And I did. I said, David, we have the two people over in Bentonville, you know, Dave and Jenny?
Yeah.
Is that who it is?
David and
Dave?
Jenny Mars.
There you go. We got them in Bentonville. Let's ask them if they'll come over. So I said, David, find me their number. He gets me Dave's cell number. This was last night?
It's all
Yesterday?
legal too. Yeah, it's last-
I know, it's legal. It's legal or we wouldn't be doing
Chief
it.
Cagle, can we, borrow you for a moment?
Let me tell you. And I made a call, of course, and we'll see where that goes. But that's the value of somebody like that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the opportunity because I'm enjoy doing it.
I know you
I
have.
still have my day job I gotta do, but I just
I
try
know.
to squeeze that
You're-
in, so it's.
Yeah, I got you. Thank you, David. Is that all you have tonight?
No, I have one thing. We are going to a new website and it's Apogee. And it's owned by Apogee. Springdale went to them and they're an Arkansas-based company. Our website we have now, it's very inexpensive, but they're kind of weeding out a lot of people that are not school districts. Because that's what they originally founded as. The people that own the company, I'd gotten acquainted with, and they gave us like $1,200 a year for the website. I mean, it was crazy. But really now we can't get the support. They got bought out. So it's not the same. So we had a committee, some of us in the room, some of the department heads. And we went after finding somebody that could do our website for the city. And we found a company, it's called Apogee. And Harrison School District's with them. Donna called them and some people there in the office she knew, and they were very happy with them. City of Springdale just went to them and I talked to the director there and he's very happy with them. So Donna's putting a lot of the work, her and James right now, and the background on that one, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention because in the future, near future, will be, it's real exciting. You'll be able to see the website and I think everyone's gonna like it. It's gonna be more responsive as far as on your cell phone, an app, and be able to push out a Facebook, Instagram posts from social media from the website too. So I just wanted to let you know about that and there'll be more to come on that. So that's all I've got tonight unless anybody's got any questions.
All right. Okay, David, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job. All right, let's go down into new business. We have two ordinances. Wayne, you want to take those?
I will do it. And as you mentioned, we have two ordinances tonight. Both of these ordinances, if the council hadn't looked at it, there are three read ordinances. We need to go ahead and get those done tonight. The first one is ordinance number 1535. This is an ordinance amending chapter 3.04 of the city code of Harrison, Arkansas regarding purchasing. And due to Arkansas Code Annotated, the statutory pre-bid purchasing threshold for the year 2025 to 2029 for cities of the first class has been raised from 35,000 to 42,921 to account for inflation. And we need to modify our code to go along with the Arkansas Code Annotated.
Make a motion that we suspend the rules, place the ordinance 1535 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Ordinance number 1535, an ordinance amending chapter 3.04 of the city code of Harrison, Arkansas regarding purchasing and declaring an emergency.
Make a motion at this time that we suspend the rules and place ordinance 1535 on its second and third readings by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Ordinance number 1535, an ordinance amending chapter 3.04 of the city code of Harrison, Arkansas regarding purchasing and declaring an emergency.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second to adopt. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Make a motion now that we suspend the rules and enact the emergency clause.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
Okay, my next one is ordinance number 1536. And this is an ordinance authorizing certain city employees and officials to contract with the city. We have to keep this updated also. And this is 3 reading ordinance tonight.
Point of order?
Yes.
I will be abstaining from discussion.
Thank you.
I do have a question, on North Arkansas Regional Medical Center that is not listed for me. That should be, I think should be added.
You got that, James?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will.
And you
be
will abstain
abstaining.
also.
Okay.
Okay,
This time then, I would like to make a motion that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 1536 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? And you've all got the list there in front of you. So I think, we want that list with the addition of NARMC. Was that the only one? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,
Ordinance number 1536, an ordinance authorizing certain city employees and officials to contract with the city as amended.
At this time, I'd make a motion that we suspend the rules, place ordinance 1536 on its second and third reading by title only.
Second.
okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Abstain.
An ordinance authorizing certain, I apologize, strike that, ordinance number 1536. An ordinance authorizing certain city employees and officials to contract with the city as amended.
And once again, point of order, both the individuals,
understand.
Mr. Phillips and Ms. Gwen Hoffman, both, I heard them acknowledge that they were abstaining from the vote as well.
Okay, and that's,
Motion to adopt.
Second.
okay, we have the motion and second to adopt. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,
We need to call for separate abstention. We have an acknowledgement of abstention from council members. They're abstaining for the substance vote as well.
So abstain.
I abstain.
good. All right,
Mayor, that's all I have out of my committee.
Oh, we have motion to adopt.
Oh, that's.
all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? All right, thank you. And we will move on and move.
An acknowledgement of abstention of any council members that intend to abstain from the last vote, rather than it being reflected as unanimous.
Abstain.
I abstain.
Okay,
And now, make a motion, we suspend the rules and enact an emergency clause.
there's not
There's
one
no
needed.
on this.
Not one needed?
No.
Okay.
No, there's not one in the ordinance.
Oh, you're right.
And we'll move on. So, good. All right, let's move on to reappointment. We have another reappointment to the CATPC board that we didn't cover. We actually, last week, and that is Robin Reeves. Robin's been the chair for ever since I've been here and done a great job. So I'd ask for a motion to reappoint Robin Reeves.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Robin Reeves to the CATPC.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Our next reappointment is that young man sitting right down in front, Matt Bell, to the Entertainment District. Actually, we probably should have done that last time also. And we had a lot of reappointments, so. Matt's, are you chair? I guess, yeah. So he's chair and that thing is, going as smooth as it could. So Good job, Matt. I need a motion to reappoint Matt Bell.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Matt Bell to the Entertainment District Board.
Second. Okay, we have motion second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Hi, I'm opposed.
Good, I know.
Yeah.
I'd do it too. Motion passes. Motion passes, Matt Bell.
Matt, you didn't need your.
Thank you for everything you do, Matt Bell. Yeah, okay, I think we're over on the back. We are. Help me out, folks. Okay, we're moving on to the Chamber of Commerce report. As you folks know, we have an agreement, a contract with the Chamber of Commerce to provide certain services. And they receive funds, and one of the requirements, one of the many, is that they make a report to the council quarterly. So this will be Jeff Nilsson's first report. So take it away, Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Honorable City Council. Thank you for granting me the time to come speak with you today. As the Mayor said, my name is Jeff Nilsson. I'm the new president, CEO for the Harrison Regional Chamber of Commerce, and this is indeed my first report to this august body. So I figured I'd probably start off just by giving you a little bit of background on me, telling you what I've been working on. I've been with the chamber for about 2 months now. So I'll give you a little bit of background, what I've been doing with that, and then also kind of where I see the chamber going, some points of interest that you may or may not be aware of that you probably should be. So for those of you who don't know me, I'll be brief. I'm not from here. I'm from off. But it's been 22 years working as running trade associations in the construction field in Houston, Texas. And then, you know, and after that came up here, I worked for Judge Hathaway for 9 months doing special projects for him before I came on with the chamber. And next question you're going to ask is, why am I here? And that's an easy question to answer. I had the good sense to marry a woman from Harrison. So my wife is Lisa Nielsen. Her maiden name was Woodworth. Her parents were DeVoe Woodworth. He ran Boone County Road Department for forever. And Judy Kimes, she ran, it was called Country Palace, shop down the mall for 10, 15 years, I think it was. So that's why I'm here. And that's my connection to the region. A little bit about, you know, what the chamber had me doing. So again, been here 2 months with the chamber. And the thing that they were very adamant about is they wanted me to go out during that time and learn as much as I can about city, county, the region, the people. And I've spent a great deal of time doing that. So I've met with major employers. I've met with the influential residents. I've met with the state chamber officials and elected officials that represent the area. As many as I could. Anyways, I haven't been able to meet with Flippo yet, but we're working on that. We'll get to that as soon as legislative session's over with. So basically, then I, also kind of, I've had the opportunity to kind of reach out and meet with some of the bigger players too. So like I've got a meeting with Energy coming up next week. And I've already met with Joe Willens with Northwest Arkansas Economic Development Division. I've met with Emily Tucker with OUR Corp. And then I've started reaching out to or meeting with the other surrounding chambers of commerce. So, like Tonette over at Newton County, and I've reached out to Mount Hope Chamber as well. So basically starting in close and then expanding out. Once the legislative session's over with, I'll be taking 4 trips down to Little Rock to meet with powers that be down there. So basically that's kind of what I've been doing. The chamber tasked me with meeting as many people as I can, learn as much as I can, and that's what I've been actively doing for the last 2 months. As far as what the chamber's got going on, we have several big events coming up. We have the State of Education K through 12. That's going to be on February 6th. Dr. Pratt with the Harrison School District is going to be presenting that. We've got the State of the City, which the mayor will be presenting. That'll be on March 6th. It's going to be here in the City Hall. Just like we did last year. Apparently that was a big hit. The mayor said we can come back and do it again. We're looking forward to that one. We have our annual meeting, which I'm very excited about. It's going to be March 18th. And I've been able to land Lieutenant Governor Leslie Rutledge as our primary speaker for that event. So that's going to be a big thing for us. We're really looking forward to that. She's an excellent speaker. And then we have the State of the County coming up. That's not until September 25th. Other things that we have going on are basically issues of interest, things you need to be aware about. Probably most of you are. The biggest one, I think, is the closing of the Big Lots. If you're not aware of that, Big Lots pretty much is closing. It's not official, but it's real close to it. They filed for Chapter 11 back in early December. They had an angel swoop in and buy up all their assets and say that, well, 200 of their, I think it's 860 stores were going to remain open. It was questionable about which ones those stores were going to be. But here just recently in the last week, the angel company is Gordon Brothers. They announced that several hundred of the leases that they got from Big Lots are now up for sale, which is a pretty good indication that those businesses are going to be closing. And unfortunately, the Harrison and the Conway stores are on that list. So it's pretty much a done deal. We can expect that store to happen. On the upside, though, we just opened up, or will soon open up, 24,500 square feet of prime real estate, retail space that's on the major intersection in Harrison and is going to be pretty easy to fill back up. I know the mayor has been working on a couple of options, prior to beginning here. So I think that's going to pique some interest and we should get that filled back pretty quickly. One of the things I'm working with the city on right now is it's a program called Retail Lease Track. And so I've been working with the mayor on that one and with David Wilson. It's a program basically that once we purchase it, it is run by an organization. They track retail companies nationally. So they basically any retail company that you're looking to get information on, you can pull up through this database. It gives you the contact person, their address, their company phone number, and their emails. And it also gives you location information. So if you're trying to bring in, say, a Walgreens or something like that into the region, it will tell you these are the requirements that you have to hit to become eligible to get the Walgreens into your area. And it does that for pretty much every retail company in the United States. So I'm really excited about this. I know David's really excited about it. We basically cut a deal between the two of us where we're going to split the cost between the city and the chamber working together. We're both going to have access to it. And I think it's going to be a great tool for us to be able to target specific type of retail organizations that we want to bring in. We'll be able to pick out a sector that we want to attract, market it, and go after it. And that's just up to us to be able to land these things. One of the other things I want to bring up that we're working with the city on is a program called 75 Strong. It's being put together by the State Chamber of Commerce, Startup Junkie, and another company called Connector. It is basically an entrepreneurial training class that they're putting on. It was basically by invitation only. They're only accepting 30 to 50 applicants from the entire state. This is the first year that they're putting this on. I was working with Danny Presley on this one with the city. We'd reached out to several other entities within the region. The city agreed to go on board, so did the chamber, and we have been awarded, both of us have been awarded a spot in this new cohort that's going to take this first cohort for this class. So it's really quite an honor. We're very much looking forward to it. And the first class starts in February, I think 15th. It's a 2-day thing. It's a 2-year project that we're committed to that's fully reimbursable as long as we hit some basic milestones. They're fairly easy to reach, and I think it's going to bring some great returns back to this region. And the goal of the program is to teach community leaders how to go out and create an atmosphere that is conducive, beneficial, supportive to startup companies, growing small businesses, things of that nature. So, and one of the goals I have for the chamber is I would like to see Harrison and this region become a hub for entrepreneurs and small business development, and this fits right into it. So, very excited about that. Other things that are going on, basically, there's, a big piece was, Mark Bethman, he purchased the Pace Zinc plant location last month. That's going to be a big thing for us, because basically it's putting 9 acres and 100,000 square feet of usable, manufacturing space back onto the roster, so that we can try and market that. Right now, we only have 5 acres that's available within the industrial park. That limits us, especially in the eyes of the state chamber. If we don't have at least 30 acres, they don't see us as a viable site to market out to new incoming companies. They're looking to relocate into the state. So having this space open really gives us at least a little something that we can put out there and market. So I was very excited about having that come in. And then we're also working with the Harrison Historic Business Association. They rolled out their new downtown development plan here last week. It's an excellent plan. We're really excited about it. The chamber's not directly involved, but we're working closely with that organization. And I think it's going to be an excellent opportunity to reinvigorate the historic downtown square and try and draw some more business into it, especially with the traffic we're going to be seeing, especially in the summertime coming through Creekwood. I think getting that square redeveloped and reinvigorated is going to be key to growing some of Harrison. And other than that, the only thing I'm here for is, basically the contract that we have with the city. So it's time to renew our contract. And I was taught a long time ago when I was in sales, always ask for the close. So, and that's what I'm here to do. We've been working with the city for several years now. We have a wonderful contract where, the city allows us to do economic development for, or on behalf of the city or with the city. This contract is important to us. So I'm looking for your support, for this is crucial to the chamber and to, and our cooperation together makes it certain that, we're working as one entity, that we're moving together in the same direction for the betterment of everyone in the region. So, it may not be before you right now, but it'll be coming up soon. I ask that you support this and support the chamber with that vote. So that's all I've got. I think I'm going to throw a wrench in the mayor's there, but can I answer any questions from the council? Is there anything that y'all have that you'd like to ask?
So the chamber contract, we're normally provided a copy of it each year, and I didn't see it in the packet. Did I?
Yeah, we'll have that out to you shortly.
Okay.
And then we'll look at, ask for approval, next week.
Right, and in addition, there's some certain requirements that they have to provide us with documentation and all, and so you plan on doing that at about the same time, or are you even aware of the?
I'm not sure there's anything other than the report, Mitch. We can go over it together. I have reviewed it.
Okay.
And it's the same as it's always been. But we'll look and we'll get that out to you. Here's a good example, having the ability in 2 weeks from now to be able to, vote on something. So
Last question, I assume we still, when I was a former employee of Pace Industries, there's Manufacturing Day. Do we still do that in this community? I see Jason here and just wondered if we still do that function every year.
Manufacturing Day?
Yeah.
You caught me. I don't
think we skipped it this past year.
I thought we did.
It is still active and we still intend to.
I hope so. We're very blessed in our community with agricultural business, retail business. The manufacturing part of our community needs to be recognized on a regular basis. And if you ever have the opportunity to work in one of these plants, man, are they fantastic individuals to work with. I mean, it's incredible how strong and vibrant and what good employees our manufacturing base has here in town. It's incredible.
Jeff, that's something also the college gets involved in. So you might talk to Rick about it.
Okay. I'll look into that one.
And last thing, I've mentioned this several years in a row. I would like to see, whether it's a council or with chamber or whatever, every once in a while, especially one of our legacy businesses, for years, Anchor Diecast and Levi Strauss. But those that are still in operation like Cavender's. Anybody comes from out of town and I would run them by Cavender's and I would give them walk in and say, hey, I need something. I just take it off the shelf and give it to the individuals and I say, this is made here. And they go, didn't know that. It's incredible when something is taken care of here. So same with Pace and Claridge and all these places. When people find out what we do here, it's incredible. So.
I agree with that 100%.
All right. Any other questions for Jeff? All right, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
If there's anything I can do for you in the past, or if there's something you'd like to hear more or something of in future reports, please just let me know. I'm happy to oblige.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, any citizen comments?
There is one citizen comment from Liz Torgerson
Oh,
on locating all committees and members thereof.
okay,
Oh, that's not possible.
you're good?
That's all right.
Okay.
Evening.
Good evening, Liz.
Well, we all have something in common here tonight. You don't know what I'm gonna say and I don't either. Anyway, gotta start with some humor. Based on the new website, I'm gonna divert from my written question. Based on the new website, is all the existing data that's currently on the old website gonna be migrated over?
Yes.
Okay. And then you'll be able to more easily find things, because right now the old site is, you go here, go here.
That's on the top of it. One of the top things on the list, we want to make it a lot more friendly.
Okay.
Documents, James is working on that, like with council meetings,
Cool.
committee meetings. So, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I think you'll be pleased once we get.
Liz, I have never seen a group of people more excited about a new website
Oh, no.
than
it's-
what's happening.
Yeah, no.
They are so excited.
You also mentioned ties to social media. I'm assuming that comments will also be turned off like it is currently.
That's the point.
Okay, it's not. gonna
Yes.
upset people.
Most definitely. I don't,
But they can share it and make a comment on it. That's what they need.
Yeah, that's what's got to be done. And then my original question, I'll just get with James.
they can go to Little Birdie. They typically do anyways.
Anyway, my other question, I'll just get with James. Anyway, that's all I have. Thanks.
Right, Liz, thank you. Okay, we're down to, my comments. I've got a few, but first of all, I want to bring up some people. Every year at this time, when we see cold weather coming, we kind of react and start making phone calls, hoping that some people have made plans. In the past, we've had the First Assembly of God up on Stevenson, bring in some of the homeless, and of course, we've had House of Hope. So we reached out this year, and Donna did a lot of that. I reached out to the First Methodist and Angie. She took it to the board and they said, we're not only going to open it, we're going to open it 24/7. And I've never known anyone to do that. So that right there was an exception. So Arthur Royston, who is pretty much the spokesman for that, would you come up here? And I personally, and I'm sure the council and the community want to thank you and Angie and everybody at the First United Methodist Church for taking care of this. I mean, you are saving lives. I know you want to save souls, but saving lives is not bad.
Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate the
Yeah,
opportunity to be here. And as you said, our pastor Angie Gage is here tonight also. And when she first came a year and a half ago, one of the things that she had expressed an interest in was to, and had worked in previous appointments of hers, was to work with the homeless. And, we hear things about the homeless all the time. Sometimes you hear facts and sometimes you hear the Little Birdie version. And what we're going to do tonight, what I'm going to attempt to do tonight is to give you what we have seen over the last 13 months in the two separate shelters that we have opened at our church facility. We had a planning session in late fall of 23 to talk about how we do this and set down some basic guidelines, rules and what have you. Everything's got to have rules. Now that was in December, November of 23, but in January of 24, if y'all remember, we had about 2 weeks of extremely cold weather, 3 or 4 mornings, minus teens, for the lows, and wind chills were, dangerously high. So we opened, and we were open for about 12, 13 days straight, 24/7.
Wow.
We had about 14 guests in our church facility. Not all of them stayed the entire time. Some of them kind of went and left and came back. One of the gentlemen that we had a job at McDonald's, and he had to be there like at 6 o'clock in the morning. He didn't have a car. He walked. And you're talking about saving lives. We had an issue where he left the church one morning at about 5 to walk to McDonald's. Our church is just right over the hill from McDonald's. Well, it was dark. It was snowing. It was windy. It was extremely cold. He got lost. We got a call from him about an hour later where he said, I have no clue where I'm at. I'm freezing to death. All I can see is a blue sign that says something about a school. So instead of coming over the hill, he went west and wound up at the middle school, huddled up in their doorway until we went and got him. It took basically, he didn't want to go to the hospital. It took basically all day to warm him up to where he was coherent. But that man right now has an apartment. He's had an apartment since last spring. He has a good job. He left McDonald's and went to another eating establishment here in town. It's closer for him because he still walks. But he has been our success story from last year. We've had some other stories that weren't quite as successful, but we felt like we filled a need. Now, we know that we're not the only facility that has opened their doors in one form or another in the past. Some restaurants opened up to allow people to come in and warm up and get a meal. Some churches opened up. The House of Hope opened up as well. This year, we opened on the 5th of January and stayed open until Saturday, the 11th of January. And we had 12 guests, I think it was, isn't that right? 12 guests were in our facility. Now, it wasn't every night. We had 3 the first night, 3 the second night. They came sporadically. But from our first event in 24, we had 1 repeat customer. It was a lady that lives here in Harrison in Boone County, and she did not have heat or running water in her home. So she stayed with us for about 2 weeks last year, and then she came back this year for another 3 or 4 days. We had another gentleman that lives in Boone County that was similar circumstances. He did not have running water in his home. So they were our guests, like I said, all week. And then on Saturday, primarily due to a lack of volunteers, we made an agreement with Family Budget Inn. They made an awesome opportunity to house the homeless for $25 a night. And we put all 9 of our guests that we had at that particular time up for 2 nights. And since that time, some of them have stayed. Some of them are volunteering to help them do their housekeeping because they are just covered up. The community outpouring of support for that generous offer by the Family Budget Inn has been just unbelievable. A number of our church members have volunteered to provide meals. A lot of community members have volunteered meals to go along with just the traditional breakfast stuff that you get in a hotel motel these days, cereal and milk and juice, and that's it. But listen, there's been some fine meals out there. I know Tom Street provided some barbecue one night this last week. But anyhow, we've got a lot of issues that we continue to try to work through and tweak and make better than we did the last time. And that's the way this process has evolved. We have attempted to make some arrangements with other churches and other organizations around town that want to help the homeless people as well. We've had some success and we've had some less than successful opportunities there. This past week, we did have one other church come in and provide some volunteers for a day at our facility. We had 12 guests this last time. I think I said that earlier. We had 15 volunteers this last week from 2 different churches. I told you about the people that were from here that didn't have adequate facilities to stay at their own home. Other people, other of our guests this year and some last year, were camping under bridges. We're camping in the woods. We're camping in places that we would not consider a decent place to camp. It was dry. It was not warm. It's kind of like the Roger Miller song from years ago. They know every lock that ain't locked when no one's around. You know, they're staying in all kinds of places, abandoned houses, abandoned buildings. They're just trying to get warm. They're trying to stay out of the weather. We provided that for them, and unfortunately, it's a problem that's not going to go away anytime soon. Hopefully, we won't have another situation with bad weather coming up, but you never know. We have a few answers. We've been able to ascertain a few things that would help, but you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Some of these people don't want to be homeowners. They don't want to have a place they can haul home. They're on the go all the time. They know the system. They know how to work the system. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, they know how to get what they need at the time. But we've done things like, take them to doctor's appointment, take them out to DHS to get their SNAP benefits and all the things that are offered out there. One of our guests this year was with us for about 3 days, and this person left our center of their own accord, and this was on Thursday. That person came back to our facility at 2:15 on Saturday morning. And there were some issues there that possibly could have been handled differently. All I know is that it took 2 of our volunteers from 2:15 Saturday morning until we moved them all to the Family Budget Inn on Saturday at noon to keep this person corralled, if you will.
Yeah.
We were trying to cook breakfast for 12 people, and we had 2 people constantly keeping this person out of everybody's hair, so to speak. That's probably not a good way to say it, but and again, like I said earlier, there have been other churches or businesses that have opened or provided some services. I can't speak for anybody other than First United Methodist Church. However, I am going to speak a little bit for the Family Budget Inn. Kimberly Case asked me to just convey again how grateful she is as the manager out there for the services that everybody did provide for these people that had no place else to go. There's all kinds of problems that need solutions. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of people to get involved, more so than probably we've ever been involved with a large group in the community. But that's what it's going to take, in our opinion, to help with this problem. It's not a huge problem, but it's a problem. And, if we save one person, It's kind of like the starfish story, you know, it made a difference to them. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Arthur? Arthur, I know the church well, and my heart goes out to you guys because I mean, what a difference you're making. And I know the struggles your church has encountered for 30 years now. So it's amazing, you know, the people we have stepping up like you guys. I just can't thank you enough. I know we want to help in any way we can. I know our council, I'm speaking for all of them. I mean, we're so appreciative. We really are, because, you know, without you, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know. So.
There've probably been a lot more guests in your facilities, you
Yeah,
know, in some way, shape or form.
sure. Yeah, but there would have been some terrible issues also. And I'm sure the cold weather's not over. So I hope you can hang in there. If the family budget needs more funding, does that go through you?
Well, our church is not the only one that does this. The community, I know of one doctor who, one of his patients was a guest out there and he paid for several nights for one of his patients to stay out there. And there's been more people just come by and drop $25 off and say.
So we just,
that takes care of something.
if somebody wants to, they just do it with them, the family budget in. Okay,
Yeah. Food,
okay,
money, whatever,
okay.
or call us at the church, yeah.
Of course. 741-2351. Yeah. Arthur, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay. I guess that's a good note to end on. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Let's go home.
Okay. Okay, Mary Jane. We're adjourned.
Yep, somebody needs to do that.
We're adjourned.
You're it.
All right.